So 2 shows, Europa Pro, that was the first show of the year. That was kind of the only show I had my eyes on at the time. It was kind of like the main focus of the year, just to try and qualify for this year's Olympia. You know, I got really wrapped up in that prep, really kind of emotionally involved and just connected to trying to make sure that was the best me I've ever seen. Obviously we got to quite close to the show. I think we were like a couple of weeks out, and then the news of Big Ramy being involved leaked, didn't it, on the internet, and then we were like, oh well, no. But I took that quite well, didn't I?
Yeah, you did, yeah. It did motivate you a bit more
it
than
did.
anything.
I felt like if you want to be the best bodybuilder on the planet, guys, you're going to have to go against the best bodybuilders on the planet. And obviously Ramy is considered one of the best. You know, he's had second at the Olympia before. So the news of him coming into the show, if anything, actually just made me step up a little bit more.
Yeah, definitely.
We were training, weren't we? And we were like, fuck Ramy, we'll fucking do it, Ramy. Like, you know, giving it all that talk.
Yeah.
And then, you know, a couple of weeks passed, we get to a few days out from the show, and the news of Ramy having COVID kind of hit. And I'm not going to say I was like relieved, like, oh no, Ramy's not coming. I was a little bit disappointed because I would have liked to stand next to him. Because the European show was obviously a top 3 qualifier. So I was confident I was going to get in the top 3. Regardless, yeah.
And there was a lot of build-up between the two of you at that point, and it kind of would have been good to like...
Just to see how I compare.
Yeah.
Like, again, I think Ramy is another level bodybuilder. But to know how far from those kind of people you are, you have to stand next to them. And I don't think he would have been at his best at that show, judging from what we saw. So I knew I was going to be at my best. So I was just so interested to see the comparison. But we obviously turned up to that show, and there were some really good athletes there. We had like Lucas Osladil, Raf, Regan, God, who else? There was like
Mark
Hector, Samson Duada, James Johal. We had Theo.
He looked it.
Yeah, Vlad.
No, he was at the.
Theo was there as well.
Oh, was he? Oh.
No, Theo wasn't there. Vlad was there. Vlad was there. The Ahmed Askia. So the quality of the Europa show was probably one of the best in the year. I think personally.
Yeah, it was.
Maybe the names weren't the most punchy, but if you look at the quality of the physiques, like it was, I think it was better than some of the previous shows in the year.
Yeah.
20 something, about 20 geezer lineup, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was a lot of guys.
So it was a big show. I was there, not overly confident. I kind of never am at the shows. I'm never really like sure. I'm never like, oh, I'm winning this. Had a lot of people coming up to us saying it, and you know how I get.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you kind of like shy away from it.
Yeah. So like, someone will come up to me at a show and they'll be like, "Oh, it's so good to see you kicking ass. You're winning this. You're going to take this." And this is obviously after pre-judging, and I'm like the kind of guy that's like, "Don't tell me that," because I know that I've got to go back out and work hard again, and I don't want to fall victim to thinking that the work's done or that I've already accomplished the goal. Yeah. You know, we had like our friend come up to us and he was like, "Mate, you've smashed this." And I was kind of like,
"We're still working.
Get away, I've still got to go and fight for the win." So, you know, luckily everything turned out okay. There was one funny thing that I did previously mention on a video where I fucking dropped my...
Oh yeah, in the toilet.
Before I went on stage, I dropped the my number badge in the pisser. Went in my own piss, had to get it out of my own hand. And that was before I even went on stage for the first time. So I kind of looked at it like sometimes some things that are funny have to happen at serious moments to keep you feeling lighthearted. So I didn't look at it like it was a drama. I didn't look at it like, oh, this could be the start of some bad news, you know. Some people might have looked at it like, oh shit, this is bad luck. Yeah. I looked at it like this is the comedy moment before the serious matter. Yeah. And luckily it didn't really faze me. So pissy badge, had to dry it. Remember it was leaking everywhere, wasn't it?
There was some tissue on that, but we sorted it out.
Piss was falling out of my badge when I was trying to dry it going on the stage. I was like, I can't do that because of the tan. So yes, it was a really eventful weekend, but it was really good. These guys like looked after me massively. Louis was obviously with me, and just made sure that everything was going smoothly. Patrick was obviously checking in with me constantly.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
we did all posing tweaks. Good, yeah. So it was really fantastic. So that was done, and the first thing I said when I got stage was, "Fuck the British." Yeah. I was like, I'm not going to be doing the British. I was like, that's just not going to happen. You know, I'm happy I'm qualified for the Olympia. And then realistically, you know, with everything that's going on with the world, after a few days, or about a week I had, didn't I? We had a week where we kind of chilled.
A week off, it was chilled.
Had like a meal off a day, still did some cardio, still trained, kind of kept it clean-ish, but then we'd go out in the evening or have lunch with Louis and just kind of enjoy some friend time. Then, you know, the kind of news of travel being an issue and things becoming hard to get out of the country and get to America started to become really apparent. And, you know, what was presented to me in order to get to the Olympia was quite a headache. Something that I wasn't really prepared to do, because it was the understanding of that I would have to go to another country, do 2 weeks there, then try to get to the US. and you're gun ho kind of guy.
Yeah.
You want things to be comfortable, don't you?
You want to go into it smooth and especially a bigger show you've ever done.
Yeah, listen, if it was like a qualifier or something, you do what you got to do. But it's the Olympia, and if you can't run into that Olympia show with everything the planets aligned and everything smooth, or at least as smooth as you can make them, then you're not going to have the confidence in yourself on that stage to present your best. And I really felt like I would be at a handicap compared to other competitors that are already living in the States. I've got many a friend who's already qualified. You've got like Hunter, people like Ian that are in Canada, that I'm sure it's a lot easier to get to the US than it is for me. I didn't want to give them an upper hand, if I'm honest, and I'm not trying to say they got it easy, because they haven't, but I just didn't want to make it hard for myself and not be able to present something that's as good as what they can present because of such circumstances. So when that kind of mindset kicked in, and I knew that the British was the first qualifier for 2021, and after a week of having some chill time, I was rejuvenated, and I thought to myself, right guys, listen, we're going to have this curry tonight.
Yeah.
Tomorrow I'm back on plan. Don't let me come off plan. I literally said to Louis, tomorrow you got to tell me.
Yeah. Decided in the restaurant.
In the restaurant. And how many moments during the week after even I was like, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Tell them how many times I was
a couple of times we finish up training and they'd be like, should we just go and eat and just leave it? We don't know what's going to happen. And I was just like, let's just stick with it. A couple more weeks and it'll be worth the reward.
Yep. And then the last thing I'll say that was crazy was Boris Johnson. So the show was meant to be on the 7th, yeah? So on Saturday the 7th. Boris Johnson, 1 week prior, on the weekend before the show, announces we're going into lockdown on Thursday that week. So that would be 4 days or 3 days before the show. So I get a call from Ian, who runs Two Bros, saying, look, what are we going to do about the show? December or Wednesday? And the first thing I said is, I just said Wednesday. So all of the athletes agreed to do Wednesday, so we brought the show forward 4 days or whatever it was. Praise to Two Bros and IFBB for making it happen, because they had to fly judges in and everything.
Yeah.
And the show got brought forward by 4 days and still managed to do it. So went there again, feeling pretty much the same as the Spain show. I never feel like I'm there and I'm definitely going to win. It's not something that's in my head. On paper, yes, I was the front runner because everyone doing the show, bar a few I'd already beaten 2-3 weeks prior. But I also I'm very much aware that people can improve a lot in that time. I've done shows in the past where I've been beaten and then come back and beat people 2 weeks later because I've got better and they haven't. So I had to make sure that from A to B I still got better.
Yeah.
And we did. I think we improved, a few percent.
We did improve a lot.
A bit fuller, a bit harder, a little bit leaner. And fortunately managed to keep a very good Regan Grimes off me.
Yeah.
Because he was very improved and he did give me a push. It would be a lie to say that he didn't.
He did look really good.
Yeah.
And Mark as well.
And Mark Hector was very improved.
The most, I think, out of everyone.
He took a leap. He looked like 20% better.
Yeah.
So James Johow looked better.
Yeah, Jamie looked crazy.
Majority of the lineup basically improved. So it was a tough show. It wasn't the biggest show. I think there's 7 or 8 people, but the quality was really high. And fortunately, it turned out that I pulled off the win, and it meant a lot because obviously this show was it was a tribute to Luke. The whole banner and everything. The whole point of the show was to raise and continue to raise awareness of everything that Luke did for British bodybuilding, and everything that he is. And we did a very, very lovely kind of segment at the beginning, which we wasn't sure how it was going to pan out, but Ian basically played a song. We all paid tribute to Luke. The funny thing is, I said this is the funny part, is we're all told to pump up. We're all told to pump up, and then Ian brought us out for the segment for Luke. So we all pumped, and then we stood for 6 minutes listening to this lovely song. But the pump up had no purpose. So I was like, oh fucking hell. So really, we should have done the segment, then the pump up, but we're all in the same boat. So we're all standing there, obviously listening to this lovely song. Butch pumped up out of our minds, and then obviously switching from that, being really emotional because we're listening to this song, and obviously running through our thoughts of Luke. I wouldn't have changed a thing. It's marvellous what we did, and I think it's a fantastic tribute. But it's just funny that we didn't really contemplate the purpose of when you should pump up.
Yeah.
So it was just great, and that's another win, another victory. Fortunately, that one was the 2021 qualifier, so that's the first qualifier for this Olympia next year. So now I'm qualified for 2 Olympias in 2 shows, and going to focus on next year. I have made the announcement where this year is a write-off for me. For many reasons, really. It's a chance for me to get a good kind of post-cycle in, really get my body nice and healthy, something I haven't done for a long time, if I'm honest. Detox. Also focus on putting a good plan together, a massive plan, because this will be my first off-season with Patrick. Obviously last year was a very short one. We only worked together since like March time. So we had like March for a few months to have an off-season, maybe 2 months, and then we dieted. So now we've obviously got almost, I don't know, like 10, 11 months of work to do. So currently in that stage of just getting fresh, getting revitalised, getting healthy. You know, doing a proper PCT plan advised by Patrick, you know, when it comes to all of the, you know, the hormone side of things, the nutrition side of things. And I'm feeling really good. I'm actually feeling really good for it. So very grateful that my coach is someone that after a show does that, because you'll find that a lot of people out there won't. They'll say, all right, it's time to switch you up and get massive immediately.
Yeah.
And then, you know, that's going to involve certain things.
Yeah, it's true.
It doesn't really give you a break. No. And you're just going to feel burnt out. So really right now is about just refreshing the mind and refreshing the body. We're still training, still enjoying it. It's just kind of like not taking anything to failure and just enjoying the training. And, you know, if there's a day where we don't feel like it, we don't.
Yeah.
If we do, we do. Fortunately, I'm able to train. You know, obviously I'm part of the King's Gym, so we are shut. The members of the public aren't allowed in, you know, and I do feel sorry for everyone, and I hope that this passes quick. But part of my job is to obviously continue putting content out there and make sure that I still earn my living and stuff. And we're in a position where, fortunately, we're able to use the gym when it's closed and make sure that we're still doing what we do, which is going to help me progress as a bodybuilder, but at the same time also pay for, you know, my bills and stuff. So, like I say to all you guys out there that haven't got access to the gym right now, I would say, you know, don't lose hope, because it's not going to be too long, and just try and do what you can. Do the best you can. If you've got a barbell, you know, there's many movements you can do. Just make sure the intensity is there and just keep kicking ass. I've got a lot of friends right now who've got some funny like little gym setups going on, like people like Daryl and
little tents and stuff.
Yeah, man, I've seen some people doing some awesome things, like little canopies in the garden and whatnot, and I know it's crazy, but just do what you can do to get by for now. And then, you know, I'll be there ready to welcome you back into the gym as soon as we open, which will be before too long. Yeah, so that's where we're up really right now. We're up to date. Today is, I don't even know what the date is. Let me check the date because I'm actually interested. So it's the 17th of November today. We are going to train today later as well. We're going to do some shoulders and some triceps. And just keep things rolling smoothly so we don't go backwards. But other than that, there's no real pressure to do anything right now. I think by the time that December, January rolls around, there'll be a plan in place, and then I'll obviously keep you guys updated on what the exacts are. I'm just as excited as you guys to know what the plan is, because I have no idea. Like, listen, I don't know what's going to be the next phase, but it'll be really interesting to keep you guys in the loop and go into some of the more in-depth details with Patrick, what we're going to do, and share that with you all. Hopefully at some point I can get Patrick on the channel as well. That would be really cool if I could get him to do some talking, even if it's via, you know, getting him on a call or whatnot, and we actually do some questions and stuff. So let me know if there's something you guys would like to see. Yeah, so that's it, guys, for the catch up. But we're going to do some more stuff today, and we'll obviously hit you up with that in the next video. So, peace.